Folks, man of another in here. Hey, folks, it's a man of Manether in here. And whoa, not. Hold on a second. Need to have a little drink here to get me through this. The woke is for real. Oh my goodness. So Vanity Fair gets an exclusive, an inside look at the Rings of Power, or as I like to call it, Lord of the Rings trope. Because when you acronym the Rings of Power, that's what you get. A whole bunch of leftist trope. So here they go. They've released some still images from the show and some other various pictures. So we're going to go through this because this is garbage. First word, Galadriel's world. It's not Galadriel's world. She was not even a main player in the story, even of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. But it's her world is a raging sea. Angry, and brash, and clever, certain that evil is looming closer than anyone realizes. And so by episode 2, her warnings set her adrift literally and figuratively until she's struggling for survival on a raft in the storm-swept sundering seas named alongside an immortal castaway named Halbrand, who is a new character. Isn't that great? Because Tolkien's other 750 characters weren't worthy enough. She's fighting for her future. Halbrand is running from past. Oh, good grief. This is the first time I'm reading this, folks. So, yep, that's right. Now they're going to write stuff into Tolkien's Legendarium. That's just great. Um, if it falls short, it could become a cautionary tale for anyone who, to quote J.R. Tolkien, delves too greedily and too deep. All right, so September 2nd and is when it's premiering. While Jackson is not connected to this project, his movies, as well as their spiritual successor, Game of Thrones was not a Lord of the Rings based show. Completely different. It's grim, dark. It's totally different storytelling. So that's an apples to oranges thing. Now here we come to our first picture. There's Galadriel in full armor, folks. And it says here, Galadriel, commander of the northern armies. Really? Because she wasn't a warrior. But you got to have powerful women. And the only way to have powerful women, rather than, doing what women naturally do to showcase how they are powerful, you've got to minimize their natural capabilities and you've got to put them in positions that men are in, typically. You know, I mean, this is ridiculous, but I'll be sexist for saying that. All right, so the actress was only a few days of being into playing Gladriel, which is probably terrifying. She's in water, there's a lot of visual effects, there's music and light. But despite the momentous scene in front of them, the show's crew were glued to their phones. Within 45 minutes, word spread. Oh, okay, yeah, contracted COVID, yada yada. Okay, so see, they've already got in a built-in defense there. Is COVID. Never mind the fact that did movie and TV show production really, was there a lack of shows and movies while this quarantine stuff was going on? There really wasn't. You know. All right, so we've got pictures here. Prince Durin the Fourth. Now this picture, this looks well done. This looks like a proper dwarf. I mean, seriously, that's a solid looking dude right there. looking like a solid looking classic dwarf. Then we get to this dwarven Princess Disa, played by Sophia Nomvet, standing at Casa Doom's entrance. That's not a dwarf, folks. Sorry, it's just not. And when you look at that picture, what in the heck is she wearing? I mean, it looks like she's got something draped over her, like some type of long hair shag dog. Like they just shaved it and then just connected it up here at the shoulders, and so it falls over top of her. This gold stuff all around her on a bigger picture, it looks like it's spray painted paper or cardboard. It looks cheap. Looks horrible. Also, like many have pointed out, no dwarven beard. You know, never mind the race swap. You can get over race swaps easily by having good writing. When you don't have good writing, then all the other faults start to build up. It doesn't make sense to have black dwarves because there's no sun and that they would develop any melanin in their skin over time as a race. Doesn't make any sense, but that's okay. Let's ham fist it in there anyway because we've got to put real life narrative into a fantasy story where those narratives never existed in the first place. And then you've got this Sylvan Elf Arondir, played by Ishmael Cruz Cordova, who is a character who's been created for the series. Second character now created for the series. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Third, because Princess Disa is also one, unless I'm ignorant of that character actually existing. The Quartering, I love this, called this character the Elvish Don Lemon. Because, yeah. And we see all this armor. So they took pictures of, you know, all the decorations on their chest for the earlier picture release that meant less than zero. Um, but again, you know, an elf, black, again, you can get over that with good writing. We know there's not going to be. So it just highlights it even more. And again, they're following the TV movie trope of having the torch in front of their face when you're not going to see beyond the torch in a dark place. It needs to be further back so that you can actually see what you're looking at. But all he's going to see is light in front of his face, and that's it. But never mind it. That's okay because, you know, you, the audience, are stupid. Oh, I really don't want to read this, so I'm not going to. All right, so here we've got Elrond, apparently a young-looking Elrond, um, in a field. Okay, whatever. This picture tells me nothing, and there's nothing really terribly objectionable about it. Bronwyn and her forbidden love, Arondir. Oh, okay. So we have an interracial relationship going on amongst the, if this is a human, also interracial. So they're capitalizing, they're doubling down on the interracial. Um, you know, because woke and stuff. Uh, but overall picture doesn't mean anything. It's a neat little setting with the tree and you know the ruins here. But let's see, Elrond and Galadriel are reunited in this majestic elven kingdom of Lindon. Um, okay, if there's a relationship between these two, that's also lore breaking. I don't recall. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't recall them ever hooking up. But then again, that may be why they have uh, the set person who watches love scenes to make sure that you know Me Too is followed. Let's see, Bronwyn, a single mother and healer. So you have the single mother trope going on here because you know either the father's dead or he's a bad father. But either way, you know, single mother. Isn't that great? Oh my. What in the unholy hell is this? Two nomadic hunters wandering in the fields of Middle Earth. And so they have these giant tusks on the... Does nobody look at this design and say, everyone, this looks terrible? I mean, that's bad. Bad, 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 bad. Oh my. Here, looks like he's in a t-shirt. I know it's got decoration. It probably means that they gussied up the t-shirt to look more fitting to the world, but this is that new character Halbrand, a fugitive from his own past. Boy, you can just, mm, you get the feels. And I think that was it. I thought I'd heard Jeremy say this, and I don't know if it's right or not. But I thought he said that they made her the black female dwarf here also made her a single mother. And if that's the case, good grief. That's real. You want to sit there and say our objection to race swapping um, is racist. You want to put a trope in there like the black single mother? I mean, come on. You know, but again, you can't really have two-parent households because that's not realistic, or that's just not reflective of who we are as a society anymore, and therefore we wouldn't be able to relate. These pictures just prove one thing, that the woke is real, that they are writing themselves into corners that they will almost 100% guaranteed not get themselves out of. And so that's why, as fans of this stuff, we're really worried. And we can hop over here to Screen Rant and look at their article covering these pictures. And the first real pictures they get to are our black princess here, and then our black elf. And then they get to most of the rest of them. They don't cover them all. Now, why would you put those two pictures first in your article? And yes, I know you have this combined one up here with Galadriel and Elrond. But in the main, after you get past that, the first ones you include here and here. And I guarantee you the reason why Screen Rant did it is in the comments section. If anybody objected to it, they could immediately say, regardless of, they even if they didn't comment on this, on the race swapping, they could sit there and say, you're racist, you're bigoted because of this. Yeah, I mean, this drives me nuts. Galadriel in full armor. And even then, like in the main article from Vanity Fair, the chain. Let's go back to this because this is ridiculous, right? Look at this. I mean, yeah, she's got armor there, but that means all this stuff serves absolutely no purpose. This looks ridiculous. But you want her to look powerful, yet feminine. It looks horrible. And just, boy, they're really, really just going to destroy Tolkien's world. I've rambled on a bit too long about this. I'm going to get this up, but I couldn't help myself. The trope is strong with the woke. And this is just adding more fuel to the fire that they're looking at pushing their narrative with intellectual properties that are near and dear, but they want to ruin them. They did it with Star Wars. They did it with, I guess, He-Man. I didn't watch it, but um, they've done it with She-Ra, also another thing I didn't watch. They did it with Wheel of Time. They're doing it with this. Witcher they haven't done it to, although they've interspersed stuff in there, but that one they've actually done better writing on it. Not perfect, but that one survived the onslaught so far. This is straight hot garbage. This is going to be hard to watch. Um, Rest in peace, Middle Earth. You have been put in the grave along with JRR and Christopher. Thank you for your service. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a note in the bucket. I need to go calm down. Shagar, Nevron, Taishar, Manethrin.